Hello everybody, welcome back to Ramblings of the South Stand, and I'm here with your post-match Hull City defeat. Leeds United 0, Hull City 2. I just want to do a quick review of the game. This isn't a season review, I don't want to talk about loads of the other games that Leeds have played. This is just an in-game review, so I just want you to take that into account before you click and watch the video. Just let me know what you think in the comments section below. How you think the result went? Do you think it's going to affect our season? Could you see any flaws in that performance? I've just got a few things written down. But anyway, into Hull City, I mean, they set up with a pretty strong team, and you look at that side and you think to yourself at the start of the season, Hull have probably got a stronger side than Leeds. Reasons behind that, they've been in the Premier League more recently than Leeds. With ever what's gone on with Hull, they still do have decent players in that squad. I know they've been protesting against their owner, but they've still got very, very good players in that squad. Ex-Premier League players, top-class Championship players on loan and stuff like that. But they fielded a very strong side, and they had Tommy Elphick, who got recalled from Aston Villa. Recalled back to Aston Villa early in the morning, and Jackson Irvine out of the side, and they still started with the likes of Jared Bowen, Grosicki, who are the two main men in that squad, two quality players in our league, and the likes of Chris Martin, Nua Dicko, Eric Lehigh coming off the bench, and they started with Evandro up front as well, who was signed for millions and millions of pounds when they first bought him. So that's sort of a little bit of context, really, of who we are coming up against. This isn't a poor side. This is a team who've not really hit the heights yet. They've not really got the team cohesion, but they're starting to get that now with Nigel Atkins. So when they hit those sort of dizzy heights with the squad that they've got, with those guys at full potential, they're going to be better than a lot of the teams in the division with the sort of standard that they've got in that squad. So just bear that in mind. Moving on to the team anyway, Leeds started with the exact same lineup as they went with against Blackburn. No real changes. I did think the spine of the team was sort of off it today. A few players off it. I thought Douglas was really off it. I thought it was his poorest game I've seen for Leeds. I thought Grosicki sort of had his number, and you could see with Leeds' style of play they were trying to sort of man-mark Bowen and Grosicki out of the game. Leeds sort of had three players around them every time those two got the ball. But when Bowen it's difficult to say, really. They were doing well on him. They were doing really well on both of them. I thought they were quiet for the first sort of 15, 20. But then when the first goal came, they sort of started getting into the game a lot more. Grosicki started seeing a lot of the ball. Hendrickson playing it out to him a lot. Bowen started getting involved in the play a lot more. And you started seeing the two sort of interchange really well. And that's where Hull's success has come against Swansea, against Brentford. When those two are interchanging, alongside Jackson Irvine, you do see a lot of success from Hull City. Phillips. It's so difficult with Calvin Phillips because I really want to see him back in that CM role. I want to see him back in that role that he was playing at the start of the season because he's a Yorkshire Pearlo, isn't he? He's been fantastic in that role. At the minute, we're seeing him at centre back. He's doing really well. He's trying his hardest, but the kid is not a natural centre half, and you can see that. You could see that today against a proper striker in Evandro. He did really well against the likes of Tammy Abraham and Codger, but I felt that we still need to see Calvin Phillips in that midfield role. And when we see him there, we'll see the best of Calvin Phillips. I still don't think you see him at his best against when he's playing centre half. And that leads back to the injuries, doesn't it? The injury front, it's really hitting us hard at the minute, and I think it hit us hard afterwards. I was hoping to see Bamford and Cooper, maybe not Cooper, but possibly Bamford fit for the Forest game. I'll get onto the sort of roof situation in a bit, but the rotation, it flips everything up. It flips dimensions. It flips sort of like philosophies. Leeds can go to a different... When different players come on, so for example, if Bamford comes on for Roof, Leeds can go along. They can mix it up a little bit. With Roof, we go into the channels because of his pace, but we don't have that rotation at the minute. I mean, you look at the standards in the benches, like I've just listed off, Nua Dicko, Chris Martin, Eric Lehigh, and then you look at our bench and you've got the likes of Clark, Halmer, it's just what we've got coming off the bench at the minute. We're stricken with injuries, but this is just talking about the game. I mean, are we seeing the best of him at centre-back? I don't think so. Their goal, just put your foot through it, Calvin. Put your foot through it. But the brilliant thing about it is he's playing the Bielsa way. That's how he's been told to play. And he's done it so successfully for the majority of the season. So you can't criticise him for that. He's just trying to play football. This is what's been indoctrinated in him from moment one of Bielsa coming in. I think if he'd have hoofed it, he'd have been in even more trouble by Bielsa. So you can't blame him for that. For sure, I thought Bowen did a really good job on him. I mean, Bowen's a quality player. You're looking at Everton being in for him as well, apparently recently. I thought he did really well on Forshaw. I thought Forshaw didn't screen the back four that well today, and I think that's why you see the likes of Calvin Phillips struggling today, and even Pontus Jansson to an extent, although out of the two I thought he played a lot better. He didn't really protect the back four, and that allowed the likes of Grosicki and Bowen sort of interchange within that middle and run at the Leeds defence. Cleek at the minute, don't know what's going on. I've had a chat with the guys on the All Leeds TV sort of messenger group, and I think that the issue with him at the minute is he needs a CAM to free him up with the space. And he doesn't seem confident when he gets that ball on the edge of the box. There was 2 or 3 instances today where he had the ball on the edge of the box and he could have unleashed a strike like he did against, like Norwich or Derby. But he just doesn't seem to be able to do it at the minute, and I don't know what that is. Even against Villa in the first half when we played them, he had a really, really good chance. It was a real tame effort. A lot of sort of scuffed efforts from him at the minute. He seems to overcomplicate things at the minute. He just needs to get the ball out of his feet and have a crack. And I feel like that Leeds still had 22 shots today, 78 possession, but I still feel we got in so many positions where we could have had a shot on the edge of the box. I think Bielsa alluded to it after the game as well. We need to get more shots off. 22 shots, but we could have had 48 shots today. We were in the positions to do so, and for me, the ball just goes out wide. We cross it in, it gets headed out. They're a very good structured team at Hull. So I think we needed to just mix it up a little bit. You saw Hernandez trying to do it. He was definitely the more creative player today, having pot shots, going close with one that just went over the bar. But I still feel Leeds need to get more shots off. Roof, you could see he was frustrated, and that's where the Bamford element really changes things, because you could see he was frustrated against Bolton, for instance, when they were doing a sort of job on him. And the similar against Villa. Chester was doing a really good job on him against Villa, but he sort of had that snapshot, and that's his quality. Gets that snapshot and he'll score. But when it's not going for him, sometimes you need to change it up. Maybe put 2 up front. It's not really the Bielsa way, or just like for like change one off the other, and Bamford makes a difference because he's a completely different player, and it gives the opposition manager something to deal with. But at the minute, what teams are preparing for is Kemar Roof and Kemar Roof. That is it. For the back line, that is what they're preparing for, because Leeds do not have any other options in the striker department aside from Kemar Roof, realistically, which is becoming a little bit of a problem at the minute. I mean, it's not a problem, for goodness sake. Look at where we are, look how fantastically we're doing. But I think sometimes, for instance, today when it wasn't going well in the offensive department, someone like Paddy Bamford coming on, like we saw against Bolton, would have completely changed the dimension for Leeds. But yeah, as I said, I thought, we were doing well, but we sort of looked sluggish today. We sort of looked tired, and you could see that in the build-up play. Leeds sort of going through the motions, but there wasn't any conviction with the shots. We had 2 or 3 cleared off the line. As I said, 22 shots. Hernandez went close. Ayling went close. So this is what I mean. Even when Leeds aren't on the top of the game, we're still creating chances, which is a positive element to take out of this. I want to end on a positive anyway. At the end of the day, like I said, we had 22 shots, 78% possession, and we did create chances. This is probably one of the poorest games you'll see from Leeds. We didn't play badly, but we didn't play well at all. Not like league leaders, but we were still creating chances. We've still been innovative. We're still going forward and pressing and doing the things that we've seen from Leeds this season. The thing that I worry is, and I think something that needs to change in January, is the plan B. I don't think you can rely on Jack Clarke all the time. And that's, I guess, where Leeds look at a midfielder, because I don't know it just doesn't look like Izzy Brown's ever going to get into a Leeds shirt, does it? But yeah, Leeds were really unlucky. I thought a draw would have been a fair result. I wouldn't go as far as saying Leeds deserved to win, but a draw would have been fair enough. But at the same time, I thought Hull did a real good job. It was a perfect away performance from Hull. 3 shots, 2 of them they scored, and it gets a little bit frustrating. But that is what I'm talking about with the quality of squad. Hull have 3 shots, they score 2, and then they've got 2 very good strikers on the bench as well to bring on. And that's the difference at the minute, because Leeds have got so many injuries, it's difficult to bring that quality aside from Jack Clarke off the bench. Forest is going to be different, but we need to bounce back against Forest, don't we? Forest aren't in a rich vein of form at the minute, and I think, if they keep Karanka in, they're going to be solid at the back, because they always are. I mean, they're leaking a few goals at the minute, but Karanka is known for having a solid back line. But Leeds need to go there and really show how good we are and why we're league leaders. We need to bounce back against them. But the start of the season, guys, if we were top, we'd have been absolutely buzzing by now. So please try and take the positives. Norwich also lost today, which is massive, and West Brom deserved to lose, by all accounts, but they got a draw, and then you've got the likes of Jay Rodriguez, who's now suspended, and Dwight Gale, who's got a hamstring injury. So there are positives to take out of this, guys. Please keep your chins up. march on together. Let's roll on to Forest. So yeah, keep your chins up, guys, and I'll see you in a bit.